What is going on? I'm Zedmon. We're back into the warships. I have made all sorts of changes, spent all sorts of keys. Went and spent, I believe it was like 120 something keys. Probably should keep track of these numbers a little bit better. We have jumped into 5 engine rooms. Went and got bombardiers as well. I would highly recommend not going into 5 until you can get bombardiers. Barrage, not really as big of a deal, but you definitely want to have enough to either get bombardiers or get seekers. Both very, very, very fun troops. Really depends on what kind of gameplay you're looking after, though. So I have done fairly well, as you can see here, winning 9 of my last 10. Made a bit of a boo-boo there, ended up losing by 12 seconds. Have gotten back into the running for #1 New Zealand. Doesn't mean anything, obviously. It's just one of those things that me and Mr. Mackett liked to joke about. Mackett down here, I think it's his anniversary today, so big shout out to Mr. Mackett, missing all sorts of chests and hating on this season in a big, big way. So all I've done since my last video with you guys was we went and got that shock blaster, seeing people with grapplers as well, and went and got bombardiers. Now I have yet to see anyone else using tanks at the 5 engine room level, so I'm going to show you a couple, maybe even more than a couple replays, and then we're going to get into my diamond boss battle where you can watch me lose and crumble and weep like a baby. So we're going to show you a couple replays. I have been, well, that's kind of weird. 100, why are they showing percentages if I was 1 engine room left? That's kind of strange. We're going to skip that one because that's just kind of odd. Also a little bit surprised that it's showing, feels like something a little bit wonky there. Anyways, we're going to go and show you this time. Again, I am using tanks. Why, you ask? I don't really know. Using the tanks on the outsides because they're decently okay at distracting things like mortars and machine guns and stuff like that. Then using all of our riflemen to clear all of the mines. Now, just a note, it takes 7 max level artillery to clear an engine room, so although I am doing that on some occasions, not doing it super often. So dropping our troops on either side, and then depending on the day, like if the grappler's in a decent spot, look at this left hand side, just all rifles doing all sorts of good stuff, tanks doing all sorts of good stuff. And one quick note is that you can range that right hand side engine room from right about there, so your bombardiers can chuck over that gap, which is always one of those questions. You never quite know how that's going to go. I've already forgotten where I am, so we're going to go against the Deformed Dog, I think that stands for, Pero. And so again, right here, tanks on the inside to draw the mortar fire, and then again, same thing, tanks up the gut to get the mortar fire, and the rifles to get the boom cannon fire. Is this a super sexy attack? No, it's definitely not. Then we're just throwing 7 artillery at that back engine room. But let's just avoid that boom cannon altogether. And I find that our troops don't want to go for that back engine room, and it's 3 to get rid of the boom cannon or 7 to get rid of the engine room. And I've got my gunboat energy up to tick 4 and 5, so really don't care about gunboat energy at all. Now, speaking of gunboat energy, I'm gonna show you my big mistake. This base, interesting, most definitely interesting, but I use 4 gunboat energy to get rid of the grappler. Should have just either let it pull my troops in. If it pulls your troops in, look at this. There's nothing in range of that grappler. So it actually could have helped us, but instead I got rid of it and totally and utterly regretted it as a result. So again, using tanks to distract mortars is good, but just waiting way too long to get in on that middle engine room, and as a result it's just a little bit too slow. You see right about here, as our troops all rush towards that engine room, it's just too slow. So probably, if you see that base, maybe just let the grappler grab something, because it's not going to kill your troops. Anyways, enough about that. I'm going to show you one more battle. I think my fastest with 5 engine rooms is 2 minutes 53 seconds. This was the first 6 engine room base I faced. I can't believe we faced against a 6 engine room base already. It just feels like, have I clicked play yet? Okay. So in this instance, again, mortars up against the tanks, and then just letting that grappler grab us at some points, and then again, making sure that that rocket launcher is not shooting over the top of the tank. Look at that. Tanks, again, being useful. My screen sliding a little bit, which is a little bit uncomfortable at the moment. Need to give that a bit of a wipey wipe. And there, right there, is that Bombardier shooting over that right-hand side gap, taking down the win. Now, there is a name in this list. So this season so far, I have beaten Shishka Bobber and General Electric, which for me is a big, big accomplishment. I don't face a lot of players that I recognize, and so it's always nice to beat those players that you do, in fact, recognize. Going to show you General Electric's attack because it was, oh, screen sliding. I'm going to pause here. Screen not super happy right now. Gotta say, I'm pretty darn happy that screen issue happened when I'm watching replays, not doing live attacks. It is so frustrating when your screen screws up. So, General Electric, their attack, I'm pretty sure he would have either beaten me or tied me, but then he retreated because I think I started like a little bit before him, so does not have the Bombardiers quite yet, but just coming in with some fairly strong heavy Zuka game here. I managed to take Brick down, which I'm sure helped me out, smoking his troops in here, and then he had maybe not. Maybe there wasn't quite enough room. But I mean, like, look at that. He probably could have finished that engine room off, but nonetheless, picking up the victory. Pretty stoked about that. So big shout out to General Electric. Also, I believe has a YouTube channel. Someone please comment it down below. Let's see if we can't jump our way back into Diamond, just like we've jumped our way to the top of the New Zealand leaderboards. Woot. Woot. Oh, please don't make me like do 12 more battles to get into Diamond. Right now, by the way, if you have Bombardiers, right now is the time to do some attacks. Get going. Get into Diamond because there's a lot of people with different tech trees who are going to have either Bombardiers or Barrage or even Seekers very, very, very soon. Also, the fact this is spinning, suddenly we're on the flip side of the coin where before every time this spun longer and longer, it meant I was a 4 and about to get a 5 and going to cry myself to sleep. But now we're a 5 and hopefully going to get a 4. And the player pool outside of 5s is more 4s than 6s. So really, really hoping that we don't get a 6 because although I did beat that previous 6, chances of doing it again pretty darn slim. So we did get a 5. Now, this person's base looks fairly straightforward. I'm not overly concerned about it. My tank is going to get blasted out of the ground by that their boom cannon. So we're gonna go like this. One and this over here, and then all of the bombardiers down in here with the battle orders, and then we'll put that tank up in there and throw a shock right about there as we get a couple more boats of rifles up in there. And now I showed this last time. I am just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get rid of that back engine room. Using the gunboat energy way too quick. But I feel like right now we've got enough rifles out front. We've got enough gunboat energy. Now I just need to get all of my troops over into here, trying to get them the heck away from that back boom cannon. And now I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be in a decent spot here. Definitely going to lose a bunch of I hate when that happens. That is my least favorite thing in all of Boom Beach, where you spend your gunboat energy and then Brick goes and dies. So now we just need to throw this flare out right about there. I think we're gonna be like one short on the artillery front, but come on, let's go. 256. I think I said my fastest time on 5 engine rooms was 253 already. We beat Cameron. Cameron is a long time subscriber, and as what he has done is bumped us into Diamond. I think if that's who it is. Big shout out to Cameron for bumping us up into Diamond. Now, right about now, if I was to win again, I could get that next chest in Diamond. Anytime you can do that, you definitely should. And of course, the reason for that is that it's got, I think, an extra 5 keys in there. So making the jump up into Diamond, pretty darn stoked on that. I'm going to take a breather right about now. Let's just quickly watch Cameron's replay, see which troops he's using. He was pretty darn quick. Yeah, Seekers. Seekers. Would love to have me some Seekers, but it's just not in the cards at the moment. And that right there, my friends, is exactly why I went and got those 2 shock blasters. So 2 shock blasters definitely being all of the goodness there for us. Really do wish I had some Seekers, but it's not in the cards for me right now. Now, what I want to show you right here is this base right here. This is the base that I'm using Policino 95, big shout out to that player for building a decent base. Really, really liking it. Now, am I on this list somewhere? Up into 305. Not bad, but I've been surprised. This season, I've been in the top 500 when I have no reason to be. Like, let's see how many battles this per 500 battles. Like, if we look at New Zealand, HLY sitting there with 857 battles. I am sitting here with, I think, 219. So I have no right to be in the top 500. Some of these players are just absolutely grinding and crushing it. So pretty darn happy to be here for now, and sneaking my way into Diamond. So glad you guys could be there for that. I think that's the first time in a long time I have not failed a boss battle. That was my absolute and utter first boss battle to Diamond, and we managed to sneak our way into it by the absolute skin of our teeth. Just those last couple shock mines saving our bacon. As it tells me, it tries to tempt you into it. You'll be sitting there like getting ready for an operation attack, and it's like another top player's waiting for a match. Anyways, that is all for me. Hopefully you guys got some enjoyment out of this. Also got some info about some troops that do work and don't work. My other base is at 3 engine rooms and has like 257 keys. So I'll do another video for that in the next little bit. But for now, as per always, thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Peace.